Today, what I'm going to do is go through a little bit of a visualization hardware update. We do have a couple of new capabilities that came out with some of our visualization hardware products, and then jump into that introduction to the new VersaView 6300 family. I say new VersaView 6300. It's new in name only with the 6300. This product that we incorporated into our family was an acquisition. There was an Italy-based company called Awesome, which in its name itself, we know it's good, that has its own R&D department, own manufacturing department of industrial computers, industrial technology that Rockwell purchased early this year. I'll talk more about that when we get into it, but this is a tried and true industrial computer line that has been sold all over the world outside of North America. So with it being brought into Rockwell and now renamed the VersaView 6300, we'll be promoting that in USA, North America. So the topics, or products I should say, that we're going to hit on is the Panelview Plus stainless steel. Hopefully you guys are aware of our Panelview Plus 7 product line. We've had a stainless steel version out for quite some time. A Series B released early this year, and we're going to talk a little bit about what that Series B brings. The 6181 outdoor extreme environment industrial computer. This is a new product with the 6181 product line that launched back at the beginning of this year. Up-to-date outdoor extreme environment computer. Our VersaView 5000 product line's been out for a few years. We've had, VersaView 5000 monitors, thin clients, and industrial computers. Launched at the beginning of this year as a hazardous location product of that family. And then finally, the VersaView 6300 product launch info. This is actually being done in 3 phases. We're in the midst of phase 1, phase 2, and 3 will be in calendar year 2021. And so we'll talk about what those 3 phases look like and what we're going to be bringing into our product line. All right, first and foremost, the Panelview Plus 7 performance. As you well know, there are 2 versions of the Panelview Plus 7, a standard and a performance. The performance model, we've had a stainless steel version for several years. It was IP68 rated. There is now a Series B. There's no change in the product.
I'm having trouble hearing you.
Oh, goodness. There's no change in the part number, no change in the price, but the Series B now offers IP69K protection. So now anywhere, high temperature, high pressure, water washdown environments, any environment where you guys have to have sanitation carefully done over the equipment, this is a product that would meet that. We have NSF certifications on this product. So any food and bev, pharmaceutical industry, the hygiene requirements for that for those industries will be met. We've got special certifications for meat and poultry, processing equipment, as well as special purpose food equipment. This unit comes in 2 different sizes, a 9-inch and a 7-inch as shown here. There is, it might be hard to see, but going around the outer edge of this is a blue silicone gasket. That gasket is a replaceable gasket. So over time, when the caustic washdown might kind of erode or eat away at that gasket, replacement gaskets can be purchased for this unit. The next item, the 6181X industrial computer. This is a PCAP multi-touch screen unit. So PCAP stands for projected capacitive screen. So it's like a screen that's on your tablet or your smartphone. This unit comes with Windows 10 IoT Enterprise 64-bit operating system. It has a very wide temperature range of -20°C to positive 70C. So this is definitely an outdoor rated product. You can use it in damp screen areas. You can use the touch screen with wearing both thick or thin gloves. It's sunlight readable. If you're familiar with our older PanelView Plus 6 High Bright, and by the way, everyone's, I'm sure, aware that the PanelView Plus 6s have gone obsolete, but the PanelView Plus 6 High Bright unit is still a viable product. It's still available. But if you're familiar with that unit is 1,000 nits bright, outdoor readable. This one is even brighter than that, 1,300, so definitely can see it in the sunlight. But this thing will hit all kind of applications due to the certification it includes. Basically, every hazardous duty certification or every hazardous duty certification around the country for different requirements, from Class 1 Div 2 to ATEX. This thing has got you covered. So, chemical applications, power generations, water, wastewater, boiler rooms, paint areas in an automotive industry, food and bev, refrigeration areas, curing presses, tire and rubber, all those kind of applications, and obviously oil and gas, from measurement to automation lift, to pump control, to wellhead monitoring. This is a great product to fit in that application. This thing has 2 additional video outputs besides the screen that's on the front there. It's got 2 Ethernet ports, 2 serial ports. It's got a PCI expansion slot. So if you need to add some type of card, and all that runs on DC power. So great application in hazardous duty and outdoor environment applications. Next is the VersaView 5000 product enhancement. So the 5000 has been around for several years, as I mentioned. Basically, what happened this year is we launched a Class 1 Div 2 ATEX certification unit on our most popular version, which is shown there. It's the dual display. So it's got 2 display ports on it. As you see, 2 Ethernet ports. It's a box style. So it came as a Series B, so no change in part numbers. It's just when this thing launched, again, early this year, Series B offers that Class 1 Div 2 ATEX compliance. Also was launched was a conformal coded version of this Class 1 Div 2 unit, and that has a small part number change. It just adds a K to the end of the part number. So now we have both options. If you're needing conformal coded or just that hazardous location certification, we've got those available for the 5000. All right. So that kind of rounds up some of the other products I just wanted to mention before we moved into the VersaView 6300 line. Again, this is an acquisition of a product that has been used all over the world. It's a tried and true trusted product. It comes in several different capabilities and flavors. We're doing a 3-phase launch of this product. So we're going to have monitors, box PCs, panel PCs, thin clients. The remote connectivity gateway at the bottom is we're not going to discuss that today. That's not part of the visualization group, but it is part of the acquisition of Awesome and bringing that product into Rockwell. We're going to look at the top 4 rows there. Notice that all the product lines are part of 6300 for simplification. The letter at the end basically denotes the M for monitor, the B for box, the P for panel, and the T for clients. How we'll differentiate between the two. And now let's take a look at what's all going to be launched over these next few quarters. Again, we're halfway through or more of this phase 1 of the product launch. Basically, everything's out except the monitors. These monitors won't probably release until the end of November. And then phase 2 and phase 3 will be calendar year next year. And we'll talk about a little bit about those as well. So first of all, the monitors. These are going to be full definition 1080p LED displays They're going to come from sizes around 8" up to 24. We're going to have both, standards 4x3 and 16x9 widescreen formats. They'll come in 4 different bezel types. We'll have the aluminum bezel, which if you're familiar with some of our older 61, 86 monitors, that's the same type of face, if you will. The screen and then aluminum bezel. It's a little raised edge around that side. That style monitor. Then we're also going to have 3 flat monitors. There's an aluminum true flat, meaning it's a flat surface when you go from the screen over to the bezel. There's a stainless steel true flat, and then aluminum glass true flat. What that means is there's a glass cover that goes from the screen to the bezel, so everything is glass coated and there's no seams, no lines, nothing there, but that glass covering. That unit is got ATEX ratings today. Since it wasn't sold in the USA, it did not have Class 1 Div 2, but that will have Class 1 Div 2 next year. That it's going through testing right now, but it does have the ATEX rating today. So 4 styles of bezel formats on these monitors to choose from. Next, as we move into the industrial computers, we're going to kind of start at the lower end and work our way up. But actually, first, we've got this panel computer I want to talk about. The panel computer is obviously a computer with a built-in screen on it. These units utilize an option of either i3 or i7 Kaby Lake Intel processors. Now, the Kaby Lake processors are a real recent line of processors. And I bring that up because there's a lot of i3 and i7 generations out there, and they're not all equal. This i3 and i7 will outperform previous generations of the same equivalent processor. So it's good to note when you're looking at units, hey, what generation i3 or what generation i7 does a particular industrial computer have? We've got a Windows 10 IoT Enterprise LTSC, that stands for Long-Term Servicing Channel. That's going to be an OS that's supported up through 2029 at least. And it will have, since it's an IoT version, has minimum updates, like our home computers. It seems like we get updates every week. These won't be hitting those updates, won't be receiving these updates like that. So it's a long-term service product. These are all-in-one motherboards, so everything is built into the board itself. So you don't have things connected in that could rattle or shake out. It provides a very durable solution. It's built in with 4 Ethernet ports. It also takes on capabilities such as jumbo frame, where a standard Ethernet frame runs around 1,500 bytes, and a jumbo frame goes up to 9,000 bytes of payload. So what that is if you got a taxed network, this can give you definitely a performance increase on that network utilizing jumbo frames. And then obviously wake on LAN functionality, if you're not aware of that. If this unit's on the plant floor, and it can be powered up over the network, or possibly a screensaver has come on, but maybe some type of event has occurred, and it needs to bring attention to an operator, it can wake up out of the screensaver and display the information onto the screen by itself without user intervention. So just a little bit of information about, hey, what's on these panel mount computers. Now, moving on to the box, and this is the biggest product group of phase 1. There's several different box computers, and we're going to start with this book mount. When I say book mount, as you see up in the corner, it is kind of standing vertically like a book standing up on its edge. This unit, although you can't really tell in this picture, is about the size of your hand. It is a very small unit. It's an Atom class book, so it is not like a i3 or i7. This is a very a smaller processor functionality. It's much smaller than the Kaby Lake platform that I just showed you on that panel computer. So this is more entry level for lower computing power needs. You're not going to run like SE Station on this, but note that this unit has options for both Windows 10 and Linux. So if you have a customer wanting to utilize Linux, we can do that. It's got options on memory of 4 or 8 gig. It's got options on the hard drive up to 256 gigabyte. That's a solid state drive, no fans. And again, these things do support, you want to tie in a 70-inch 4K TV monitor to it, you can do it with this unit. Moving up a little bit on the box PCs is our next Bookmount. These are our Intel Core I-class computers. So they have the i3 and i7 7th generation quad core processors, giving us the Windows 10 IoT enterprise software. Again, this is our all-in-one motherboard. A lot of capability, a lot of functionality built into the capability of that board with the Ethernet ports and the network functionalities, but also the connector for the hard drive, the SATA, the serial connectivity for hard drives. SATA 3 is a very fast connection. The M SATA is more of a micro. It's a small form factor to keep things more compact. You can get this unit for with up to 32 gigabytes of RAM. Again, 24-volt power. And if you need to expand, this thing has just the one video output, but say if you need additional video outputs, it's got 2 PCI expansion slots. So if you want to add a video card into this, or if you want to add maybe some type of comms card, or like an older compact, you need a control net communication card. Those kind of things can be utilized in these PCI expansion slots. So again, this is our book class, our box, but book class industrial computer. Now we're going to look at more of the box wall mounts. Now these can save you a little bit of money if you want to go to this format, just because it's not quite as compact as that book mount. It doesn't have the nice fancy cover on it. So there's some, it uses a little bit bigger motherboard, so it's not, that foot savings, that space savings is a little bit better on the book mount versus the wall mount, but this is going to give you some cost savings if go into this unit. This one will actually have both powered capabilities, 24-volt DC as well as AC power. If you do AC power, you will have fans. So it will bring in fans into the equation. So you need to be aware of that. And again, all of these, all of these are Thin Manager capable. So you can use, the Thin Manager icon for Windows. You can not use the hard drive and use it as a Pixie boot device to work as a thin client as well. So that, just to keep that in the back of your head. Moving on and moving up to a little bit higher power is our next iCore box PC. This is our most powerful of phase one, I should say. Most powerful of phase one launch, Plant PAX system compatible unit. So this is going to run really taxing applications and software on this unit. So you've got an option of different OSs you can install or have installed on this. You can get it with no operating system installed at all if you have your own licensing. This supports RAID licensing. So what RAID is it utilizes multiple hard drives to give you a better performance or higher reliability. RAID 0 is a striping technology where it writes half the information across 2 different hard drives, so it ups your performance in your read-write times. And RAID 1 is called mirroring, to where it basically mirrors or copies the same information across 2 hard drives, so it gives you a reliability in case one of the hard drive fails or drops out. So very updated processors on this. Again, up to 32 gigabytes of RAM, several expansion cards, an IP16, or excuse me, PCI 16, a PCI 4, and a PCI 1. And that just has to do with the speed of those slots. The 16 is probably more geared toward video cards, and then the PCI X4 should be like communication cards generally. And then the PCI 1 is more of a lower level card, maybe a serial card or something like that that might be inputted. But all those options are included in this form factor. If you look up here, you can see it. You can see there's on this one there's obviously one PCI slot here showing there's again the 4 Ethernet ports on the back side, USB 2, USB 3 built into this unit. So high-end high-end wall mount box computer. That covers all the products in phase 1. We're going to go into phase 2, and these are products that are going to be coming out the first part of calendar year 2021. And you're going to see here some of the same families. There are going to be some more monitors, some more box PCs, the new panel PCs that are more in line with the box PCs that we showed on the phase 1. So more powerful screen integrated computers, and then some thin clients that are panel mount as well. So all those are going to be coming out in phase 2 early next year. If we look at that, I know this is something that's probably long awaited, is long distance monitors. So you got your monitor, up to 100 meters away from your computer, and basically all you're running is a Cat5e cable between the two devices, and you're able to utilize that monitor as well as USB device if there's a mouse or something there. But touchscreen capabilities are supported. That option, those monitors will be launching early next year. Sizes 15 and a half, 18 and a half, and 21 and a half. All of these HD, 1080p, 16:9 aspect ratios. There's an on-machine version you see with the handles on the side. Those are going to be launching as well. So long distance and on-machine monitors coming early next year. All right, so we talked about some of the features and functionality of that Bookmount box PC in phase 1. Really loaded, but hey, you might not need some of that stuff. You might not need PCI expansion slots. You might not need the RAID capability, but you want that strength of processor. So that unit will be coming out in phase 2. So it adds some cost savings because it doesn't have those capabilities. But what it does add is that long distance connectivity will be built into that. So if you want to run one of those long distance monitors, you'll be able to use this right out of the computer without any additional equipment. And then finally, on phase 2, the Panelmount I-class. If you saw, on phase 1, it's just the Atom class panel computer. So now we're going to have the Intel class panel computers coming out in phase 2, and this is going to be like our the big box one that can handle Plant PX application. This is going to have again the multiple operating system, including Linux. The RAID capabilities, all of this in a panel mount versus a box mount, which is what we got in release 1 or phase 1. And these also, notice, will have actually 2 remote video links for long distance monitoring. So you can connect 2 video monitors to this all the way up to 100 meters apart or 100 meters away. And then finally with phase 2, we'll have panel mount thin clients, because in phase 1 it was just the book mount. So panel mount thin clients with screens up to 21 inches, as well as that long distance receiver and transmitter boxes to adapt other computers and monitors for that long distance run. Those will be coming out in phase 2 as well. So that wraps up phase 2. Again, early next year products. We've got a long list of computer hardware that's out now and going to be coming out early next year. And then in phase 3, which is again late next year, This is going to be a huge expansion of all the options that were previously released and total custom configuration. So we're talking over 100,000 different combinations of operating systems and processors and network cards and hardware cards, all those combined, software being preloaded onto the unit. All those kind of things are going to be coming in next year. That's going to make up a long list of catalog options, of custom configure options that you can do. It will also include custom branding. If you want to add custom branding to the front of the unit, that will be an option as well. So a lot of things to look forward to. Really excited about this acquisition of Awesome and bringing those products into Rockwell and releasing them to the United States. And that covers that release. Are we taking questions, or how are we moving forward?
We'll take questions, as we have no questions posted right now. So okay. You're good to go.
Well, thank you so much for the opportunity.
Thank you very much. And hopefully most of you will see you next week.